Hephaestus, the god of fire and forge. The birth of Hephaestus. Hephaestus, the god of fire and forge, was born from the union of Hera and Zeus. However, his birth was atypical, as Hera rejected him upon seeing that he was lame and ugly. It is said that Hera threw the young Hephaestus from Mount Olympus, where the gods lived, and he fell into the sea. According to legend, the god of the sea, Poseidon, found Hephaestus and took him to a cave where he raised him as his son. There, Hephaestus learned to work with metals and developed great skill in forging. One day, Hephaestus decided to return to Olympus to meet his true mother, Hera. Despite her initial rejection, Hera was moved by Hephaestus' talent for forging and accepted him as her son. Since then, Hephaestus became the god of forge and fire, and dedicated himself to creating weapons and tools for the gods and mortals. His skill in forging was so great that the weapons he created were considered the best in all of the Greek world. Hephaestus and the creation of weapons. From an early age, Hephaestus demonstrated great talent for working with metals and creating useful and beautiful objects. His skill became even more notable after his return to Olympus, where he became the chief craftsman of the gods. Hephaestus created the weapons of the gods, including Zeus's thunderbolt, Athena's shield, Apollo's bow, and Eros's arrows. He also created tools for mortals, such as plows, sickles, and mining tools. But Hephaestus didn't just create practical objects, he also created beautiful ones. It is said that his works were so beautiful that even the gods marveled at them. Hephaestus also created adornments for goddesses, such as bracelets, necklaces, and earrings, and it is said that his creations were so beautiful that the goddesses competed for them. In addition to his forging skills, Hephaestus was also an expert engineer and created numerous ingenious devices. One of the most famous was the golden throne of Hera, which he created as a gift for his mother. The throne had the ability to trap whoever sat on it, and only Hephaestus knew how to release the trapped person. The marriage of Hephaestus and Aphrodite. Despite his great skill as a craftsman and blacksmith, Hephaestus was not considered one of the most attractive gods on Olympus due to his lameness and ungraceful appearance. But that didn't stop Hephaestus from falling in love with Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty and passion. Aphrodite was the wife of the god Hephaestus, but she was not in love with him. Instead, she had a secret affair with Ares, the god of war. One day, Hephaestus discovered his wife's infidelity and, instead of getting angry, decided to take revenge. With the help of the gods, Hephaestus created a trap to catch Aphrodite and Ares in the act of their romance. He trapped them in a magical net and brought them before the gods so they could see their infidelity. Despite the public humiliation, Aphrodite did not regret her love for Ares, and Hephaestus could not bear his pain and shame. He decided to leave Olympus and took refuge in his forge, where he worked tirelessly creating objects. But the goddess of love, moved by her husband's pain, decided to return to him and reconcile. Since then, Hephaestus and Aphrodite reconciled and became a happy couple. It is even said that Aphrodite began to appreciate Hephaestus' skill in creating jewelry and ornaments, and asked him to make several gifts for her. The marriage of Hephaestus and Aphrodite is a legend that shows that even in an unhappy marriage, love can prevail and reconciliation is possible. Additionally, it also shows how Hephaestus' skill and creativity could impress the most beautiful goddess on Olympus. Hephaestus and the heroes. One of the heroes who received Hephaestus' help was Heracles. Hephaestus provided him with powerful weapons, such as his mace and arrows, which helped Heracles defeat many of his enemies. Additionally, he also built a special helmet for Heracles that made him invisible, allowing him to confront many monsters without being seen. Another hero who received Hephaestus' help was Perseus. Hephaestus gave him a magic sword that allowed him to cut off the head of Medusa, the gorgon with serpent hair whose mere gaze could turn people into stone. He also gave him a reflective shield that allowed him to dodge his enemies' attacks. But perhaps the most important help that Hephaestus provided to the heroes was his wisdom and knowledge of engineering and metallurgy. It was he who helped the heroes create powerful tools and weapons, such as Odysseus' bow, Poseidon's trident, and Achilles' armor. Hephaestus and Greek myths. One of the most well-known myths in which Hephaestus played an important role was in the creation of Pandora. According to legend, Zeus ordered Hephaestus to create Pandora, the first woman, and gave him the task of making her as beautiful and seductive as possible. Hephaestus created Pandora with great skill, but also endowed her with curiosity and cunning, which would later bring suffering to humanity. Another famous myth in which Hephaestus had a prominent role was in the story of Prometheus. According to legend, Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans so that they could enjoy its benefits. Hephaestus, as the god of fire, was not directly involved in the theft of fire, but became one of the gods who punished Prometheus for his action. Hephaestus chained him to a rock where an eagle ate his liver every day. Hephaestus was also present in the legend of the Trojan War. He was responsible for creating Achilles' armor, the most powerful hero of the war. It is said that Achilles' armor was so impressive that it terrified enemies even before the battle began. Another legend in which Hephaestus was present was the abduction of Persephone by Hades. According to legend, Hades abducted Persephone and took her to the underworld. Hephaestus, as the god of fire, was one of the few gods who could see in the darkness of the underworld and helped Demeter, Persephone's mother, to search for her missing daughter. Death and legacy of Hephaestus. Despite being a god, Hephaestus was not immortal. According to some myths, he died in a fight with his brother Ares. In one version of the legend, Ares mocked Hephaestus' appearance and he became enraged, hitting him with his hammer. In another version, Hephaestus trapped Ares in a net he had created and exhibited him to the other gods. This angered Ares, who freed himself and attacked Hephaestus. However, in other versions, Hephaestus does not die but is seriously wounded and needs to be healed. Despite his death, Hephaestus' legacy in Greek mythology is very important. He was worshipped in several Greek cities, such as Lemnos, where a great temple was built for him. In addition, his skill in forging and engineering made him a role model for artisans and manual workers of the time. Before saying goodbye, I want to remind you that if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all our publications related to Greek mythology and other interesting topics. We also invite you to give it a thumbs up and share this video with your friends and family so they can also learn about the fascinating story of Hephaestus, the god of fire and forge. Remember that your comments and suggestions are very important to us, so let us know what other topics you would like us to cover in future videos. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.